Okay, so the first little video I'm making here, I want to show you a little sneaky trick I have for image planes into Zbrush. Okay, so first off, I've made this here in Photoshop. I've kind of figured out, what is it, I went and kind of laid out the character as best I could, okay, that I'm going to use as a reference. I'm going to check my image size, measuring in pixel time, and if I go over here and I look, I've made it so that it's like 4K wide, okay? Don't want to make it too big, so 4K is what I'm going to push to, and 2156. So, now I'm going to go over to Maya, and typically what I always do is I make a reference plane here in Maya, and I'm just going to go, say, to the front view. I'm using my grid, right here, something like this. I'm going to go and create polygon tool. I'm going to hold down X, boop. Holding down X so it'll snap to the grid. I get a perfect square. I'm happy about that. And if I really, really like this perfect square that I always like to use, I can go into my script editor and go here and find that poly create here, and you can actually see my grid's going to be huge, but whatever. And if I go to File, Save Script to Shelf, and I always go and call this Ref. Enter. No. And now I get a little button up here on my shelf. Yay! So whenever I want to make one of those, I just hit my Ref button. Anyway, so I've got this. Yay! And it's sitting there in the middle of my grid. And what was it? The width here in my x-axis. Because I made this on the front view, that means my x-axis here is just going to be the one that, see, 4.096. I put a decimal point in there so it makes it easier to deal with. And then it was 2.156? I can't remember. I had it memorized and I forgot. Image size, 2156. Okay, good. And who am I? What am I doing here? Back to Maya. So, 2056, good. Aspect ratio is right. So I'm going to go in here, right click, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to grab myself a Lambert. And here, when I go to color, we'll just go in and I could have used a Targa, and then if I was in Maya, the Targa is wonderful. Let's just go and take this over here, and I put this into a secret file over here on the side. What was I thinking? So if I put in a Targa, it's automatically going to have the alpha channels that I put onto the image are going to follow it along, and I have to hit 6 in order to see it. Yay! Okay, so that's easy to use. Also, too, I might make it black and white. I sometimes find that when you're looking at these details and stuff like that, they're easier to see in black and white. But whatever. Anyway, I made the JPEG that I'm going to use in ZBrush black and white. I'm going to go and use the Insert Edge Whoop. And I'm going to insert an edge whoop here. And I'm going to insert an edge whoop there. And oh, don't touch his bum. There we go. Enter. And here I just want to break up these images really fast. I'm just going to go in and grab these edges, and if I go over into the polygons, edit mesh, and I use something like detach, now they're separate. And if I go and I hit mesh and I hit separate, now they're all separated. Yay! And this side image here, let's just go and hold down, get rotate tool out, hold down J. And when I do that, I get this, damn it to hell. That's because over here in the hypergraph, the original surface that I split up, let's just kill the history, it's got some weird scale values. You can see the scale values over here. If I go and I freeze them, then its children will behave a little bit better. So if you freeze the parents, the children will act a little bit better behaved. Okay, so let's push that over here. Yay! And then I can go into my front view, and what else do I want to do? In the front, come on. Actually, let's grab them both at the same time, and I'm just going to hit center pivot. I'm going to hold down D and V, and I'll snap their pivot points down to the bottom. Okay, great. And let's just take this guy and push him back a little bit. Push him around. There. And I'm just going to set him up so he's more or less centered in here. It's not going to be perfect, because I think he's got a little bit of a bend in his body. Okay. But good enough. I could go in and make it better. I don't know. This man has big thighs. I'm going to go over and I'll take this one and I'm going to line them up as best I can. Remember, I'm going to use them as a rough reference. Nothing perfect. And again, you can see a little bend in his back here. Great. And let's just take these. So actually, I'll take this one. I'm going to push this back. Take this one, and I'll pull that forward. So you want the back in the front and the front in the back. And you could, if you want to make everything really nice with the aspect ratio, you scale them up. Okay, great. Depends how big you want them, how much you want reference you want, how you want close you want it while you're modeling. Now, one other thing here that gives me a bit of an issue is I only want to see it from one side. And Zbrush will do that for you, but it's good to keep an eye on this before you even get involved with the Zbrush. I'm going to go into the shape node in the attribute editor, and I find double-sided, I turn it off, so I only see it from one side. This one here should give me the same thing. Yay! But this one, see it's black over here? If I turn off double-sided, I don't see it, I only see this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the normals and I'm going to hit reverse. There. Okay, so now I've got this trick set up. Yay! And this is my reference planes. I'm happy with them. Again, you can move them around a bit more if you felt they're still a bit claustrophobic to you or whatever. But I'm going to take these, I'm going to go File, Export Selection. And this is going to go into ManRef Object. Okay, great. I'm doing this off on the side. You can't see what I'm doing. Export Selection. It already exists? Yeah, great. That's because I've done this once already. And now I'm going to open up my ZBrush. Here, I'm going to pause. Okay, so I've got my ZBrush up and running. And what I'm going to do, let's bring in my little star. I edit, okay, great. And I'm going to hit Import, and I'm going to go importing. Let's just go over here into this side. Whoop. And actually, I wasn't even paying attention to where I put this thing. My projects, and over here, la 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 la, la, la la la. And that should be it right there. Yay! So those are my references right there. Okay, so the next part of the trick. If I go into texture, and I'm going to go and import. Now I'm going to go find my texture, I'm going to go and import. And, okay, I didn't put it there. Again, I'm doing this off to the side. I don't know. You want to start looking through all my crazy files. Who am I? What am I doing here? There we go. And at the very bottom of this stack, we will find ManRef, and it's a JPEG. ZBrush likes JPEGs. Okay, so it's loaded up. I can see it up here. There it is sitting right there. I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to flip it vertically. And flip it vertically because ZBrush flips your UVs when you go from Maya to ZBrush. Now that I've put it into the textures up top, I can go over to this object and I can find its texture maps, and I can load it on. Yay! And I've got that stupid red matte cap. I always like something that's white. Actually, my favorite one is Skin Shade 4. Okay, if you use any of these things, like if you go and you use flat color, then when you're sculpting, you're not going to be able to see your sculpt very well. Okay, but I find Skin Shade 4 gives me that. And one last little thing, also too, what else do I hate? I don't like the gradient in the background when I'm modeling. The last little detail here is I'm going to go to, on the texture map thing, if you hit transparent, because I use pure black, that becomes an alpha in the ZBrush. Okay? And one other thing I might also mention too is that when you're sculpting, this reference stuff that I've set up shouldn't be your top subtool. Okay? If it's your top subtool, you're going to notice that your character's going to go off center a little bit when you're trying to do symmetry, and so don't do that. That's all I have to say. That's it. We're done. And you can save this as a tool or whatever. And that's my little video. Hope it's fun.